Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, and the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, beautiful viewers. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're returning, welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful to have all of you guys here and super blessed to be doing your reading. You guys are all very safe and welcome in the space with me today. I am taking a look at what sort of lessons have you learned in this connection? The connection on your mind with this person you came here about, and what sort of lessons are you still learning? What are you still needing to learn here in this connection? All right, so if you're not in a connection per se, but you are in some sort of phase wanting to know what you have sort of uncovered and learned in your experience and what you're about to learn and experience, then this reading is certainly for you. It will help you to kind of position you where you're at in your growth and your ascension. And I will be doing an extended where we'll be taking a look at the person on your mind, the person, you know, in this connection, and what have they learned and what are their sort of lessons that they're still needing to learn here in this connection. So I was torn between doing an extended and having this same type of reading for your person tomorrow, although I feel it important to do it today. So if you are resonating with this being your energy, what you've learned, what you've kind of gone through, and what you're about to sort of learn here in this connection, then you might be resonating with the extended reading. All right, all that information will be available in the description box and in the pinned comment below. Somebody had requested what's your karma and what's your person's karma and what do you have still left to kind of go through in regards to the karma. So this is the inspiration for this reading. It's the karmas you've kind of had to go through, the story you've gone through in this connection, and then whatever you're trying to sort through or whatever you're trying to learn. So the back half might be a little foreign, especially if these are lessons we're still trying to learn. And of course, until our mind and our soul is ready to learn a lesson, it doesn't become understood. Okay, so this is just meant to help you kind of pinpoint where you're at, what you might want to expect to come in, but certainly use your own intuition over mine any day, all day. And then if for whatever reason you're confused, it doesn't make sense, you're not quite sure, then that's most likely not your pile. But if you clicked on there might just be a message as a takeaway. Okay, keep in mind these are general readings, so not every single message is going to fit your story. Take whatever messages are for you and leave the rest behind. Okay, so I would suspect that one of these picks, one of these piles, will have the bulk of your message. So very important for you to just sort of meditate on whatever is calling you towards it. Use your intuition. For option 1, we have the malachite stone. That reminds me of a tortoise shell. Actually, it reminds me of a turtle shell because it's so green. Yes, malachite. And then for option number 2, we have the white sage. I'm not sure what type of sage this is, but it's more twig than leaf. That's all I know. It smells beautiful. White sage. White sage bundle. And then for option number 2, we have the labradorite carved mask. The type of mask you would wear in a masquerade. I absolutely love labradorite because it is iridescent and reminds me of the peacock's tail, and I absolutely love peacocks. So 3 piles. If for whatever reason you're pulled to more than one pile, that is absolutely fine. Just means there's multiple messages in there for you, multiple aspects of your learning, most likely sitting in the piles. Energy is always connected in my channel, so it could certainly be that, you know, whatever energy is attached to you, other people could be sitting in another pile as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I will let the video run for a little while so that you can use your intuition. The timestamps are in the description box and in the pinned comment below. I will see you at your pick. Hello, my most beautiful pile one. You guys picked the malachite stone, which reminds me of a turtle shell. Beautiful piece of malachite. We're looking at the lessons you're learning here in this connection. Okay, now if you're not in a connection, this reading could still apply. It's just a phase of your life, maybe a situation you're going through, certain people, or just whatever it is that you're learning here karmically. So it is meant to be in a connection though, just because there are lessons that we learn through engaging with other people. This is what you've learned so far in this connection. Okay, what you've come to understand. The karma is you've kind of, I guess, squared away, or that you've put behind you in some way. And this pile here is looking at what you're still uncovering, what there still is to learn. So because of the fact that we learn at our own pace, this part might be a little foreign to you. It might be hidden in our shadow self, which sometimes we don't see very clearly. So this might be a reading you might want to check back on as your lessons kind of unfold, okay? Because sometimes this is a surprise what we're hearing here because it's so hidden in our shadow. So please keep that in mind. I'm also going to be doing an extended reading where if you resonate with this, what you've learned and what you're about to learn, or what you have kind of been brought together with this person to learn, then the back end with the extended will be looking at what the person on your mind has learned and what their lessons still are in this connection, okay? And because energy is so connected, specifically in my channel, there's a lot of intertwined piles and energy. Your person could certainly be sitting in another pile, okay? For those intuitive enough to pick that up, that could certainly be the case. So if this sounds like energy attached to you, then this might be your person, okay? So just crisscross it as you see fit, though my intention is this is what you have learned in this connection so far. So lots of cards to look at. Let's get started. This reading will probably be quite lengthy, so grab whatever you need and let's get started. All right, so we have 34 with divinely connected heart. Meet your karma. I do not pick these cards ahead of time, okay? They are just shuffled. I ask Spirit. Spirit wants me to deliver a certain type of reading, and this one is certainly about our karmas. So divinely connected heart, meet your karma, 34, or the number 7. 7 could be representing the Chariot in the tarot, which is all about being successful, moving forward, and integrating parts of our shadow so that we're able to be balanced, show up in a balanced way. 7 is also, the 7th house is all about relationships. It's all about contracts, business partners, marriage, equality, sharing, interpersonal style, that sort of thing. Okay, we have honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Okay. Every time I pull this card, I always get a feeling of being let down. You know? Yeah, like we're let down by someone, or we're disappointed by our own expectations of someone or something panning out. And then we have to learn to kind of trust ourselves to just get her done and depend on ourselves because we've been disappointed or let down. So we have joy with 28, or the number 10. The energy of joy activates our feeling of happiness and well-being and supports a high vibrational frequency in our being. Joy, beautiful vibration. I did hear the name Joy as well, so that could certainly be confirmation, okay? Or Joelle. If your name starts with Joe, that's certainly what I'm picking up here in this pile. And I don't generally pick up names that easily with the cards here. Okay, so, and once I open the floodgates to names, they just keep coming. So we'll see if more names come through. Card 5 with Orphaned. 5 is all about change. It could be upheaval, trying to overcome challenges. And then we have Orphaned. Okay, we have the Gem, 56, or the number 11. Okay. We have Breath with 36, or the number 9. Okay. Breath. We have Quest and this blue is representative of the throat chakra, which could be how we communicate or even how we understand and take in information to process with the blue chakra here. Quest. Okay. And we have a child. So generally when we see babies, children, it could certainly represent the inner child that we're needing to address here. Okay. And we have mallard. Beautiful. Mallard duck. We have surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. Beautiful sunflower in the middle. The mallard is iridescent, which is making me feel a tie here to pile 3, only if you're pulled to pile 3, because what I'm sensing from the mallard's feathers is an iridescence in that mask that we pulled for the pick in pile 3. All right, we have guide. Light attributes represents the nature of the divine in life and yourself. Shadow attribute places financial gain and control over imparting spiritual insight. We have 22, or the number 4, with love potion. Okay. We have number 1010, practice self-love. Nurture your inner child. Well, we were seeing inner child here, and then with the self-love, we have surrender low self-esteem. So certainly connected to those energies here. Practice self-love, nurture your inner child. We have constellation number 7 coming out again. Libra with balance. We have the brain and the heart. Kind of being at odds maybe here, okay, with balance. Could certainly be resonating with heavy Libra in your chart or your person in this connection that we're looking at. We have exposed and revealed, 21, or the number 3. 3 is all about mind, body, and spirit, finding balance. Our angels being with us, that we're guided. 3 could also be trying to create something here with another, work with another. Exposed and revealed, 21. I'm going to move these over slightly. We have 29, or the number 11, stay back. Okay, number 11, stay back. I think we had another 11 here, didn't we? I don't remember where we saw it. Thought we had another number 11. Maybe not. Yes, 56, 11. So we have 11, 11 here. And my 11, 11s sometimes do signify twin flames because of the, yeah, the 11, 11, the 1, 1, 1, 1. Stay back. We have the snake, which is all about healing, wisdom, being reborn and having to shed parts of ourself here. And then we have the little spirals in both the hands. Okay, we have slow. Oh my goodness, I just said slow. It says flow. And then we have the constellations here. Flow. Slow could certainly be how it feels it is going. And then we have the pathless. Difficult decisions, lack of direction. 1 gold arm. And then we have all those hands kind of reaching out. One of them has the intuitive eye here. The pathless, difficult decisions, lack of direction. I'm getting heavy air energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius from this. I won't pull any tarot just yet. Just yet. Because we're going to tap into this, okay? So let's tap into this energy and see what you have already learned. Could certainly be your person, okay? So just crisscross whatever fits your story here. But don't force anything to fit, and yeah, it should be the gist of the energy here, okay? So just give me a minute to sit with this energy. I am being called to read this mallard. I do believe it's all about dreams, but I just got called to read the mallard. So let's take a look at the mallard. The book isn't very long, so it shouldn't be too cray cray. Mallard. What do we have for the mallard? Where is it here? Because it's not in alphabetical order, so it may be, it's here, and that's about there. So that would be about here-ish. Ishy-ish. Yes. Okay. Mallard. It says, the subconscious mind, the dream state. Yes. The mallard is probably what comes to mind when you imagine a duck, as they are found virtually everywhere across the globe. This instant association is an example of how our subconscious mind speaks to us every day, almost like a reflex. Just as the mallard duck glides effortlessly across the surface of water, this card asks us to examine the natural, deeply integrated patterns in our subconscious mind. Perhaps the easiest way to examine the subconscious mind is through our dreams. As opaque and sometimes ridiculous as they can be, dreams continue to be studied deeply by psychologists and spiritual experts. When we dream, our subconscious is allowed to run free, and it feeds us images, symbols, and themes of whatever is buried underneath the surface. The energy of the mallard asks us to examine our dreams. Perhaps you could benefit from keeping a dream journal and beginning to explore the meaning behind yours. There is an incredible wealth of information to be harvested through dreams. Our dreams are also one of the main highways through which spirit tries to reach us. Okay. Yes, dream state, subconscious. I mean, this is perfect for this type of a reading. And then we have guide here. Okay. Okay. This is an interesting energy. Okay, and I feel like the lesson here for you has been, what you have learned so far here is more trust in self. How to get in tune, I think, with what you're feeling and trusting what you're feeling in that moment in order to do what it is that you're confident enough to act on. Because I feel like up until now, maybe there's been a challenge for you trusting your own decisions. And a lesson of confidence here in a way, you know, where you're confident enough to make a decision in a timely manner without feeling anxious. Because I feel like there might have been a lot of anxiety. And I feel like it's been a lesson of seeing your true beauty, like really seeing who you are as an individual. So I feel like this connection has really highlighted parts of yourself that are absolutely beautiful here, okay? Because I think up until now, maybe there's been a lot of seeing parts of yourself that you do not like so much, okay? And this could be as a result of just whatever, conditioning, environment. And so the you that you've been accustomed to, that you've been understanding as the you, just maybe made you feel like not the greatest version of yourself. You might have felt very much like maybe you didn't fit in, or like you weren't really getting supported. And the lesson here was really how to find support within yourself, especially when people around you or your environment isn't providing you with what you need. Because I feel like before this connection, it was very difficult for you to truly connect with a part of happiness within yourself, to be at peace with who you are, like naturally. I do feel a love here. So it's like how to love, you know, and in order to know how to love, we have to know how to love self. We have to know how to respect self. So I do feel like there was a part of you here that wasn't sure how to love yourself enough, or give yourself the credibility to make decisions in a way that had your buy-in and your backing. So this journey, this quest, you know, has been one of learning confidence, of learning how to go from a state where I feel there has been undeveloped potential within you of trusting your decisions, trusting how you love, trusting your feelings, when to know what is a feeling, when to know what is a thought, when to say something, when to trust what you're feeling here, and not worrying about being judged, not being in an awkward state, so allowing things to flow naturally from you. Maybe you felt, at a certain point in time that connections were very difficult, that there didn't seem to be a purpose in all of what you were experiencing. So you might have had a very challenging time here just connecting with people. So although maybe you had a desire to connect or to experience joy in your life, there was an energy around you of keeping people out because of the energy that you encompassed, whether you were actively conscious of it or not. I feel now you are, obviously, because this is a lesson you've learned. So it's like, how do you subconsciously push people away? How do you allow people to come in? Which was really a reflection of trusting yourself. So I feel like this has been a lesson of learning who to trust and how to trust, because the inner voice within you, you'd have to kind of recognize it. You'd have to make friends with it, and you'd have to trust in the guidance within yourself in order to move forward. So I feel like there's always been a lot of hesitation in moving forward in connection, trusting your decisions. And sometimes this could even fall in intuition, and we do see this intuitive eye here. So it could certainly be, are we in touch with our intuition and acting in a way that is in line with intuition, and recognizing this, like, what are we actually feeling? What are we seeing? And what are we thinking? And then welcoming ourselves enough to trust what it is to act without second guessing, hesitating, pushing people out, or sabotaging in any sort of way here, repeating cycles. So I feel like it's been a cycle for you, what I'm speaking of here. Like, if you haven't experienced whatever you're experienced in the past here repetitively, or at least in multiple connections, okay, this could be the second connection you've experienced it, but there's been multiple sort of experiences here where you've been faced with this. And so maybe the first few times, or the first time, you didn't overcome that lesson. And so this connection is one of trying to get you to overcome this lesson, so that you can trust yourself, so that you can work with parts of yourself here that you haven't always trusted. It's really building your confidence here and trusting this. So I feel like you've gained some level of confidence in self. I feel like this connection specifically has been one that's been safe for you to do this, which is kind of a breath of fresh air here, because I feel like maybe in the past it's been, connections that didn't allow for a safe space to foster your growth, to foster this type of a lesson without you feeling rushed, or without you feeling pressured, or without you feeling foolish, or without you feeling like a safe place to explore. So this has been more about self-growth, this part of this connection of what it is that you have learned. And you could certainly be, because dreams was coming through here, have been really tied to dreams. Maybe up until this connection, you might have not have had a lot of dreams, or you might have not have even been, like I said, in tune with intuition, which is like the dream state or the subconscious energies. So the unspoken, maybe it's been difficult for you to acknowledge unspoken energies in your aura or in your energetic field that is needing you to look at it, needing you to address it. And I'm getting a message here that this might be a connection where you've kind of maybe stepped out of your comfort zone a little bit to explore. Like, you actually took a couple of steps to say, I want to explore this. And maybe that's a first for you, because up until now, I am feeling a guarded energy. So maybe it hasn't been a huge step, but a huge step for you. in welcoming this journey or opening yourself up to what this is about. And it's been scary because I do feel like for a lot of you guys, you might have abandonment issues here, okay? Whether you're aware of it or not, and we'll see in your back end here, because I feel like maybe we haven't dealt with abandonment wounds, you know, maybe we are have an avoidant attachment style, or we could just have any sort of attachment style here that needs to be addressed, that is sitting in our subconscious, that's driving a lot of our actions that we haven't made friends with or identified yet. So it's left us feeling alone, abandoned, like we can't depend on other people. So we've had to learn to depend on ourselves, you know, and this could be any relationship or just as a child up until this point. It's like, how do I rely on myself so I don't get abandoned because I've been hurt in the past, or I fear that I'll be left alone, you know, when I'm completely vulnerable or when I've completely sold myself in this. So I feel like it's been quite the challenge to be vulnerable, to be exposed, to be seen. And so I don't know necessarily whether you're completely seen by this other person, okay? And I'm getting the feeling intuitively that maybe not, but I feel like seeing yourself was really a big part of this lesson. Understanding self was a really big part of this lesson. Being open to parts of yourself that I feel have been really suppressed in your subconscious here, specifically having the confidence in yourself to identify parts within you that wanted to be expressed, that wanted to come out, that wanted to be nurtured. I feel a strong inner child coming here, and our inner child is innocent. You know, our inner child wants to be loved, wants to be authentic, wants to express itself without feeling judged. And so my cat's scratching, which generally means it's confirming what I just said. I'm going to let my cat in and I will be right back. And so he scratches, but he doesn't want to come in, so I had to crack the door open. So if you hear noises, it's outside this room. So, but I do think we're pretty much wrapped up here with what's going on, and because we have here meet your karma, it's like personalized to you, you know, like coming in tune with your own emotions, and balancing that with mind, because we have the mind kind of highlighted here, and I was feeling the heart. We have the heart here and the brain kind of being balanced out. So I feel like maybe your mind and your heart have been at odds. You know, it's like, how do I allow myself to feel, even though maybe logically my mind might be telling me something else. And sometimes our mind tries to pull us down a path to protect us in a way, right? Like it says, whatever it says here, like you can't trust the situation, logically you should know better, whatever your mind's trying to throw you off, but then your heart wants to express, your inner child wants to show love, your inner child wants to be free. So it becomes, how do we balance what we feel we know and, you know, intuitively, and then what our mind's trying to tell us, which might not even be true, and what it is that we're feeling authentically, and then being confident enough to step forward and being vulnerable and allow ourselves to shine here, because I feel like your mind might have been playing tricks on you and causing you to have second guess yourself here, okay? So there was a need for you to really support yourself. I feel like I'm also getting a message here that no matter how much maybe you felt other people in connection, specifically this one, loved you or gave you love or showed up for you, I feel like the lesson here was it didn't matter how other people were kind of showing up, so much as the lesson of how do you show up for self? How do you give yourself self-love? How do you nurture yourself despite what's going on around you? You know, how do you still shine bright, whether people are disappointing or just not supporting you, or irresponsible, or just not supporting your vision, your emotions? It's like you having to trust self, regardless of however this person was showing up, has been a big lesson here. Okay, so yeah, and with this difficult decisions, lack of direction, like I said, it was difficult maybe making decisions, understanding who you could trust to connect with, who to be intimate with maybe, or who to show your vulnerabilities with. But lack of direction, it might have felt like, yeah, like you just didn't know whether connection was for you, you know, like who you could have a future with, or if you even wanted a future in a connection here. I just feel like it's been a challenge to trust your decisions when it comes to trusting other people. Although I do feel like you might have had a very good sense of intuition when it came to understanding people and their motivations and, you know, what it is that drives them. I feel like you were in tune with this. So this is part of this mind thing. It's like, no matter how intuitive you were, because I feel like you could pick it up when it came to romantic connections or just intimate connections where you were vulnerable and having to be exposed in some way, then the second guessing became apparent. You know, then we started to second guess ourselves. And it looks like she has two different colored eyes here. It could not be, but it kind of looks like a blue eye and a hazel for me for some reason. So that could be significant. Maybe you and this person have two different colored eyes. You can have blue eyes and your person could have brown eyes or hazel, or vice versa. And then, of course, this is to me looking like a rising phoenix, okay? And the snake is all about where we shed parts of ourselves that no longer work. We have to leave parts of ourselves. So it's like the phoenix burns to the ground before it can rise. So I feel like this connection is giving you a chance to be reborn as someone different than maybe you were previous to this connection. Because I don't think you've been able to overcome this part. And I mean, that's what this reading's about, is like, what have you learned? So I feel like this has been a big significant lesson in overcoming this, you know, this doubt or this second guessing, and with the flow, making it very comfortable. Like, yeah, so I don't know, maybe you have been quite awkward, you know, awkward in connection and just not knowing how to be. Okay, so this is what you've learned. We're now going to take a look at what it is that you still have yet to learn. Okay, so kind of like, what is this whole karmic lesson here with this person? Now, lessons are learned through connection, period. They don't have to be karmic per se in title. They don't have to be soulmates or twin flames or whatever. It could be anyone really in your life, okay? But we have karma, and energy always finds a way to balance itself. That is the law of energy. It always finds a way to balance itself. So this is the rest of the lesson you're kind of going through. And like I mentioned, it might be difficult to take a lot of this information in because it's still in the shadow. So this is only here to kind of guide you. So let's see what we have. Okay, so we have 35. Rejected heart, transform heartbreak into inner strength. Okay, card number 8. Rejected heart, transform heartbreak into inner strength. Okay, I am getting a message, and I don't know if this is going to be for this pile specifically, but I will say it. The back end with this could certainly be your person's energy coming through as well. Okay, so if I say it's you, but it resonates somehow and it's not you, just make sense of it as you will, because I don't know that it's all going to make sense. Okay, 35, rejected heart, transform heartbreak into inner strength. Okay, so now we have heartbreak here. We have fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Okay, that's a very intense energy I'm feeling from this. Abundance. 8. The energy of abundance activates our ability to manifest the wealth we need and the sense of fulfillment that comes from a heart and a soul that are overflowing with love and gratitude. Beautiful abundance coming through. 8 is a very auspicious number. And the fact that you have it twice here, okay, because 8 is a very lucky number, but 8 can also represent the strength card in the tarot, which is all talking about us having to face our fears, you know, go within to really look at what is holding us back and allow us to overcome something so we can act, so we can move forward, so we can face what we might have not have wanted to face for whatever reason. All right, so we have new life, 39, or the number 12. New life, that's what I was getting from the snake and the phoenix. That's all about rebirth. And then we have 39 with the temple. Beautiful card, the temple. Okay, and then we have mortification, and this is card number 68. 68, or the number 14, or the number 5. Okay. I think, is that right? Yes, 14 or the number 5. Okay, 5's all about change. Like we mentioned, it could be conflict. Mortification is the death card. Temple is like something that we see from afar here. You know, I always kind of get from this card where we don't feel worthy enough in some way. So we look from a distance. It's kind of what I get from the Temple. And of course, a lot of faith and prayer. This mortification, this I is really giving me, sorry guys, sometimes I get downloads as I'm laying the cards and sometimes it could take a while, but it's giving me this sort of energy. You know, we have all of this chaos around this beautiful gem that's all color, and we have this I around all of this, all of these intertwined sort of worms. So it's like a core knowing, despite what's going on around, your true beauty still being preserved regardless of environment or what's going on around. The mortification is death. Okay, and then we have new life. We have impatience. Blue color again is all about the throat chakra. We have to communicate authenticity. There might be challenges in communicating our truth. We were seeing the blue chakra coming through with the chakra card in this pile as well. Okay, blue. So definitely significant that it's coming out again here. You might have challenges speaking your truth. This guy's stepping on a step stool. Someone here could be very short, or your person could certainly be very short, is what I'm picking up here, just as a side thing, as confirmation. But it doesn't have to be literal, because sometimes it comes through literal, but it could be metaphorical. Like in order to ascend, in order to become the best version of yourself. There's an aid here, a step stool here helping you. Yeah, like helping you here. Okay, impatience. So I did mention time, because that came through when I said slow, when it was flow. And now we have impatience. So time is coming through, okay? We have swallow. And swallows they could be swifts, okay? They look kind of similar, and they're used in the Navy. And these birds are set out to see how close the sailors are to land. So it could mean that we're very close to the end of a journey here, okay? Coming to land, coming to the end of a journey. That might have been quite long. Surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. So we did see that mind coming through, like we said, being at odds with maybe feelings. Teacher, light attribute, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. Shadow attributes, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits, and destructive skills. Okay, we had guide, and now we have teacher. Some of you guys could literally be guides or teachers, okay? As a profession here. That could be definitely confirmation, because that's coming through quite strong. And then we have mic time, 17, or the number 8. Okay, what I'm getting now we got 888. 3 8s could be significant. You might be an advocate here, okay? You might be teaching people lessons. I feel like you're an advocate of something. You speak on something, but what's coming through is that despite how outspoken you are, and maybe there's conviction about you, you know, a confidence about you, a conviction about you with this thing, I feel like when it comes to your vulnerability, when it comes to this connection or just intimacy or connections as a whole, when it touches a certain part of yourself here, I feel like there is a lack of confidence to speak up for yourself or speak a truth. So it might become easy to talk about things in general, because I don't feel there is throat chakra blockages aside from when it comes to speaking maybe our feelings, okay, and having to speak authenticity when it comes to that. So that could be a challenge, you know, not understanding why someone who is maybe in the public eye, maybe you are, you know, pretty vocal out here, and maybe you're someone who doesn't generally care what it is that you're saying, not care, but, you know, you're someone who doesn't hold back. You're someone who isn't going to be restricted because of fear of speaking up. or embarrassment or something like this, because I don't feel like that's your energy. So we have karmic purge, karma coming out again, 6-6 mirror reflections. That's interesting. Mirror reflections. Okay. And then we have number 5, constellation. Look at this beautiful lion with the crown. It says Leo, kingdom, conquering self. And interesting, we got 3 8s, which is all about the lion, the Leo. So Leo is coming through quite strong. Yes. Getting empowered. Aries is also coming through. Okay. We have birds of a feather, 25, or the number 7. Birds of a feather, we have a lot of stars. Stars could be Aquarius energy. And clouds, I'm feeling heavy, yeah, Aquarius energy coming from this. But birds, and I was getting public eye here. I don't know if you're in the public eye, or you have lots of people maybe around you that might be judging you, you know. I feel there is a weight here on image, or what others might think or say, or that you have people who look up to you or might be looking at you. Yeah, birds of a feather. Okay, number 7. We have something that is never truly yours with 27, or the number 9. And then we have sovereignty, about self again. And then we have the forgotten, missed opportunities, and fear of failure. Just getting that with this card, when we have all eyes on us, it's hard sometimes to take a risk because we don't want to look foolish or fail or have other people judge us. Okay, so give me a little bit to sit with this energy now and see what I see. I don't know if you can see that. Let me just see. Okay. Give me a little bit here to sit with this energy. Okay. Inner strength. Okay, this one's coming through strong here. If you weren't resonating with being an advocate and being in the public eye or speaking of something, I feel like this is what's coming through as something that you're still uncovering here. Okay, and even if you are resonating with this as something, what I feel is happening here, okay, and this is really specific. There might be more coming through, so this might not be the only message, but I feel like since it came through quite strong, it's important, or at least for some of you guys. So I feel like this connection specifically, okay, that is, or this situation, because like I said, you don't have to necessarily be in a connection with someone to resonate with this being your karmic lesson of sorts, or what you're still learning, is that through this experience, which I feel is one that isn't always pleasant, okay? Because I feel like it's making you come out of your comfort zone with all of these 8s being, again, the strength card, having to face fears, having to acknowledge parts of yourself, having to, all the things we talked about, right? Like balance out the mind and having to have confidence in ourselves, even though our mind is saying no. What I feel is happening here is that you are going to be somebody here who's able to communicate and specifically teach others in some way through your experience here of what you've learned on how to navigate through whatever it is that you've experienced here. So it could be, I don't know, like guiding people through teaching them how to learn self-confidence. It could be, you know, teaching people how to trust and have faith in higher powers to get them through transformations of difficult time when it comes to connection, or just about themselves. Doesn't even have to be connection here. You know, how to feel as though they cannot, because I'm getting a very strong cannot do something, from a cannot attitude, to be able to do it. How to publicly speak, maybe even. Maybe you've been very, very shy, you know, as an individual here, and through this connection you now learned to have a voice, how to speak up. Whatever the lesson here, I feel has been one that really hit home for you, and I feel like you are then able to meet your soul tribe, people who you connect with that want to hear what it is that you have to say, because there's other lessons for them to get empowered. I do feel for some of you guys that this connection might be one that didn't end up well, okay? And it might already be over for those of you guys. This might not be a surprise. So something that didn't work very well, it left you in heartbreak. Something maybe you had to release, someone you had to release. And maybe it was like coming to terms with how to overcome heartache, how to overcome releasing, but still remaining confident in self. And not being stuck kind of in the journey without attaining whatever the wisdom was. Yeah, like getting on the other side here, but really grabbing a hold of what this experience was or is. I feel like for some of you guys, what's coming through is that maybe this connection has been over. For some of you guys, I don't know necessarily that this connection is still going. And I feel like maybe you've been stuck on this connection or still trying to get through to the other side. But I feel like either you guys have split or this person has moved on. And it's been a while and you're not quite sure when you'd ever be freed from your emotions or what it was that you were supposed to be learning. How to ever gain your confidence back, how to ever gain your sense of empowerment back, how to ever trust your decision making, because that was coming through, you know, especially if we've been heartbroken. And so we might have chose to trust something here and go on a journey only to experience the same thing, which is why we're getting karma a lot here. And then have to come out of that again is very, 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 very painful, because where we kind of put our money or bet, it kind of might have repeated in a way that we weren't wanting. We weren't expecting. With this, I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. So maybe, you know, you bet on the wrong horse here, because I feel there was a lot of cautious energy, held back energy. And then here I feel like there was a lesson in not being held back, or at least overcoming where we were held back so that we could keep taking a step forward. And so I feel like we trusted again. But I feel like we experience heartbreak is what I feel here. And because this is kind of what you have yet still to learn, I mean, I don't want to say that this is the experience, if certainly this isn't your pile and that's not resonating for you, but it is coming through here as an experience that has to leave you in some sort of state of limbo here for a significant period of time, for you to put parts of yourself behind you and trust a new version of yourself, despite whatever pains you've experienced in this connection. And so it's a lesson in releasing this person, or releasing everything that has to do with connections that don't serve you. I feel like this is one of those connections that we're releasing, okay? Part of the release is this person or this experience, and understanding that everything for a certain time, and that nothing truly stays that isn't meant for us. but acknowledging this. And so if we're not in the public eye, it's being able to be honest and acknowledge what we've experienced, but still having faith and trust through this experience, because it would take somebody a lot of faith and a lot of trust, especially if we came in hesitant and we put all our money in the wrong horse here and experience heartbreak, to still trust the divine, to still trust other people, to allow them in, to still be empowered and have courage to engage and open ourselves up to other people. And be a role model for other people here who've experienced similar things, but instead of, you know, them shutting down or experiencing heartbreak and not wanting to be open, knowing that it is possible to release negativity, to trust in ourselves and our decisions, even if we've been hurt. So I feel like there is kind of a long journey, but I feel like the journey is kind of well worth it. And I do feel as though there is an outcome here of something that doesn't quite work out, but it allows you the freedom that you didn't have before this connection, to be confident in self, to trust your feelings, to trust your mind, to know when your mind is trying to navigate you with negative thoughts rather than with truth, to allow yourself to feel and act when you feel, so that you're aligned with authenticity rather than being energetically charged with emotions that are driven from a negative mind space here, and then being held back. So it provides a liberation here. You trusting yourself to have sort of reign over yourself, confidence over yourself, to date again, or to trust people, to speak truths, to not feel judged. This is what I see. I don't think I'm going to pull any tarot because it's very clear to me. If this resonated for you, leave a comment. If there's another pile that you are pulled to, it could certainly be more aspects of you or just the person on your mind coming through. So I will see you there. If you're interested in the extended, like I said, I will be doing an extended reading where we'll be taking a look at your person and what have they learned in this connection with you, and what are they still needing yet to learn in this connection, karmically and just lesson wise. All right, I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my most beautiful pile number 2. You guys picked the white sage, the white sage bundle, all twigs, no leaf. If this is your pile or your pick, then this is your reading. So what sort of reading is this? Well, we're looking at your, as my dog is barking, we're looking at your lessons here in this connection, okay? So what have you learned? Karmic lessons, whatever you're being meant to learn in this connection. Now, if you're not in a connection, it could just be in this point in time, okay? Because we all have situations in which we're learning about ourselves, learning an experience, having to learn certain things. So it does not necessarily have to be about a person or a connection, but this is kind of what it's intended to be, because I did have somebody who recommended or had a request to see what is your karma and what is their karma and what you still have to learn. So it's kind of that same scenario. All right, so this is what you have already learned. Then we'll look at what you have yet to learn or kind of understand here in this connection. I did put a caveat there that this could certainly be your person's energy coming through, okay, because energy is very intertwined. And if that's the case, then your energy could be in another pile. Although I do intend on doing an extended. So if you resonate with this being you or your person, whatever is resonating, then the back end will be kind of the flip person, okay? Could be your person. So there will be an extended. All that information will be available in the description box and in the pinned comment below. Lean in on your intuition. If only parts of this resonates, take the parts that resonate, leave the rest behind. Do not force anything to fit. And then, of course, like I said, crisscross energy if it's not yours, okay? So this is what you have learned to date. We have 6, knowing heart, heed your intuition. Knowing heart. 6 could certainly be the Lovers in the Tarot, which is all about making a choice. And the 6th house is about our health. It is also about our habits. It's about service. Okay. We have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. And we have third chakra, number 3. The energy of solar plexus chakra helps us to realize who we are and who we want to be, so we can set a course towards our goals. All about confidence. A yellow ray, third chakra. We have number 19, or the number 10, with flexible. 10 is all about endings for new beginnings, planning for new beginnings here. We have the nectar with 58, 58, or the number 13, which could be the death in the tarot, all about transformation. The nectar, giving life. Okay, we have iron, 22, or the number 4, iron. 4 is all about stability. Iron is used as a metal to create bridges. Definitely a very stable energy. 4th house is all about home and roots, foundations. We have perseverance, and then we have the orange chakra here, which is our sacral chakra. Intimacy, sensuality. Okay, perseverance. Where do we put this? Maybe over here. And we have the unicorn. Okay. We have surrender your ego. Cultivate gratitude. Be of service to others and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals. All right. And we have God. Wow. Light attributes, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Shadow attributes, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Despotism, I think it's a despotism and cruelty. Okay, benevolence and compassion, recognizing internal force with yourself and others. Okay. God, and then we have Avenger, light attributes, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And we have here a null, 39, or the number 12. I was ripping a piece of paper, a null. 12th house is all about endings, closure, spirituality, what's hidden, limiting beliefs, and our subconscious. We have, I'm going to move your other pile over here. We have 5-5 with Master Alchemist, violet flame activation. Okay, wow. Perseverance, violent flame activation. Okay, and then we have 43, or the number 7, with, it says bright star, Vega, falling eagle, dynamism. Eagles are all about having a bigger, broader perspective here. Ascension. Eagles represent diversity and vision. 7th house is all about relationships, contracts, equality, sharing, interpersonal style. 7 could be the Chariot in the tarot, which is all about being successful, moving forward, integrating parts of ourself. The Storyteller, 17, or the number 8, and we have a key in an open book, a feather pen. It's been a theme in my readings lately. You guys might like to write lyrics, poetry, books, songs, whatever it is here that you might be a writer is coming through here. Let that be confirmation. And then we have 25, or the number 7, coming through again, gifts to the portal. And then we have unknown. This person kind of looking out into the universe. All the different dimensions. How many do we have here? 8 different dimensions or layers. And then we have the enchanter with the deception and trickery. We have the intuitive eye, and this always kind of reminds me of a pear for some reason. And then we have a skeleton hand, which gives me the death, which could be transformation or an end of something here in order to have, like I said, a new beginning. Okay, so beautiful people. Let me see if we're all in frame here. Perfect. Give me a little bit to sit with this energy. This will be the energy in which you have already learnt, that you've experienced here and graduated from, okay? Because this is all lessons learned. So let me sit with this. Interesting. I am being called to read the unicorn, and in pile 1 I was called to read these shadow cards as well. I don't know, these shadow cards always want to be read. I will do that if that's what I'm being called to do. So we're looking at unicorn, and it's here, which means it is probably over here. Okay, so unicorn meaning synchronicity, magic, something special. Mythical unicorn is a special creature appearing across tales of magic for hundreds of years. There are those who believe unicorns may have existed at one time, and those who know the true essence of the unicorn can only be captured in their hearts. Should the mystical unicorn card turn up in the poll, something special is happening in your life, and it's time to pay attention to the synchronicities and magic all around you. The universe is constantly sending us messages. For those who are on a spiritual path, you are probably familiar with the idea of synchronicities. The aligning of things that confirm we're on the right path or answer a question we have. Popular synchronicities include things like angel numbers, repeating numbers such as 444 or 777, full body goosebumps, reading or hearing something that is exactly what we needed, and so on. With the unicorn's arrival, you may have been experiencing a lot of these lately. However, it's also possible that you know you're onto something big, which may even feel like a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Pay special attention to the world around you now and take advantage of this unique and beautiful energy to birth something significant. The implications of this moment will reach further than you know. That's very powerful. Very powerful. Okay. So, yeah, this is a very significant connection here, because what I feel like you've gone through or you're going through is so powerful, and it does hurt here, because when we surrender our ego, I'm getting a very heavy dark night of the soul, okay, because that's the death, the ego death, and because we're seeing the death card here, okay, it does say deception and trickery, but and also because the number 10 here, which is an ending, I feel as though there's an identity of yourself that you've known, that you've been conditioned to know, that was who you were. Okay, and I feel like being in this connection here, you've had to face a change of yourself and come into some sort of understanding of what's actually authentically you, despite your conditioning, and shed whatever parts of you that are not necessarily you. So I feel like this connection, you could have already started seeing, having dreams about your person, maybe hearing their name, seeing certain numbers, 1111, 222, 333, whatever you're seeing here has opened your mind to something other than maybe what you've never up until this point been introduced to. So some of you guys could have turned to spirituality here. Okay, but I feel like what this is doing, okay, I don't feel like it's completely completed here. And we'll see with your other pile, because this is what you have yet to learn. I feel like there is a coming closer to God, coming closer to spirituality, not being so fixed in what story you created. Because I feel like you built some sort of either an empire or you've created a lifestyle. And I feel like that lifestyle was what you were sold to, like what you believed was who you were and what you were going to dedicate yourself to and what made you who you are. And so I feel like by meeting this person or kind of having this connection, it's really shaken your world here, because I feel like what it's done is made you really review certain parts of yourself that you can rewrite now that are not you. And so you're looking at your life, and you're also looking at what could be. And you're also seeing parts of yourself that maybe were not involved in certain things that I feel are important to you. Whether it be a certain cause or certain whatever you might have turned a blind eye to, or there's been some sort of recognition here in a greater purpose for yourself to give towards. Okay, so it could be something you're doing that just came about with this person that you've identified as something that you're wanting to pursue, or to find some sort of justice in the world for towards whatever this is. And that I feel like there's been a connection to gratitude and spirituality and how you can give back, either to society or just being very aware of the divine presence here within you. So I feel like up until now, it's been a lesson of what are all the things and people and circumstances that we've experienced, and how is it still tied to me, and how do I shed parts that no longer serve me? What I've believed to be true about me, and how I might have believed certain things were part of my identity without allowing myself to detach from things that weren't energetically mine anymore. So releasing parts of what is not you, what is other people, what is things that no longer serve you, or what are things that no longer serve you. And it's been quite the process. I do feel as though it's been quite the process. Perseverance and patience. Like, I just feel like something is really heavy here, okay? And despite it being very heavy, because it might have just seemed like it was not ending or nothing was getting better, I'm feeling a very positive energy with this, that you are more than capable of resolving this. So it's almost like you took this on willingly in some way. And I feel like you pretty much crushed whatever goals here that Spirit was intending on you to experience, because not only have you been involved in being honest and surrendering parts of yourself that is ego, but you've also been stepping up outside of that to contribute to things here, to humanity, or to other causes, or like I said, it feels to me like something you've identified throughout this journey that you want to dedicate yourself to, that you see a bigger picture here than maybe just this connection, you know, that it's opened up a whole world of opportunity here for you and potential. And that you no longer want to live in illusion. And that whatever illusion you were under here, you're putting it behind you. It's not stopping you. And so there's a new sort of passion, there's a new purpose, there's a new vitality about you. And you're kind of seeing things from this perspective. And maybe before you were a little bit black and white or drab, it might have been very fixed. And so with this connection and this experience, I feel like it's showing you what you're made out of. And I feel like you're surprising yourself. Like your ability and your capability to get things done here is amazing. And I feel like it's making you see yourself as someone who can actually accomplish anything that you want. That there is no limit. That all you have to do is take a look at the universe and claim what you want, and it is yours. So I do feel you're very, very connected to spirit here and source. And I do feel like, you know, and I don't want to downplay it because you could be kind of far in your journey here, but it feels to me like whatever parts you had to shed here was something that was done kind of easily in some way because you knew the benefit you would gain by releasing parts of this that you didn't identify with no more. So you didn't want to live in matrix, you didn't want to live in illusion, you didn't want to live in whatever identity that you created here, knowing that it wasn't fully authentically you or built from an ego. And so I do feel like there's a bigger purpose here that you're wanting to devote yourself, and you could be, you know, putting together a creation here already for the public. So you might have, you know, I don't know, like a social channel, a platform, or just you're writing a book, or you're putting together literature or some sort of self-help book or guide or creation here. Or this is the idea or the plan or the inspiration being in this connection. It's giving you some sort of drive to see something that you can contribute and maybe write about injustices or write about certain causes or do something here that I feel has been maybe a goal of yours for some time. And maybe you're just writing about your experience here. I feel like it's almost like a 180 in some way, because I do feel like how you were might have been somebody who was very hard and fixed, and now I'm feeling somebody who's very soft and loving, you know, and you could have had both tendencies here, but I just feel like it's kind of a 180. It's someone who is very soft, very loving, very giving, and maybe before you were very fixed, focused, and firm. And so I feel like you're really excited for who it is that you're about to become here, but I feel like you know that there's more, is what I feel here. And so you're learning to trust yourself, your intuition to guide you. You're trusting your dreams, your signs and synchronicities from the universe here to kind of guide you. Learning what it is you still need to release, what this is all kind of for. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm getting here for what you've accomplished in way of experience or lesson here. Let's take a look at what you have yet to experience in this connection. Again, crisscross it if this is your person. And like I mentioned in pile 1, it could be this is you and this is your person, okay? I don't know how it's going to come through, so you might only resonate with one part of it. I'm hoping this to be your future sort of lessons learned. That's how I'm planning, but just take whatever resonates here for you, okay? So we have 30 with reinventing heart. Get to know yourself anew. She kind of looks like the actress from what's that vampire show movie? What's that movie? When I channel, I have the horrible memory. I don't remember what it's called. Okay, the vampire movie. We have trust. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. And we have perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Look at that, you guys. What are the chances? Perseverance coming out twice. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Absolutely. And we have freedom. 21. The energy of freedom supports our sense of limitless possibility and potential, boundless expression, and bold expression. Oh, bold exploration, sorry. Okay. And we have yin, which is the feminine energy, card number 2. Second house is all about money, work, income, daily routines, and our values. Okay, we have the vision with 55, or the number 10. The vision, 2 owls kind of mirroring each other. And then we have the mountain card here. The guy standing through. Okay, the vision. So I just heard the saying, like, if you can't go around, you go through the obstacle. You got to go through it, not around it. Okay, vision. And then we have lead with 20, or the number 2. 2 coming out again. And then we have joy. Beautiful. Yellow chakra is the solar plexus. And I do believe you had solar plexus with the main energy card here. Did you not? Yes, solar plexus coming through. All about our confidence, our ability to get things done, our willpower. We have salamander. Okay. Getting heavy fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius from the salamander. And then we have surrender outdated beliefs about yourself. Let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can own your power and soar in your life. All right. I just heard October. So you might have a birthday in October. You could certainly be a Libra or a Scorpio, because I do believe end of October could be Scorpio energy as well, or beginning of October, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, or I'm not sure. October's coming through though. Sorry, again, channel brain. Okay, we have surrender to the magic of who you are. We all have magic in us, even in the mundane aspects of life. Remember that you are a magical being with a uniqueness and worth that comes from just being you. And she's sitting with a bunch of pink flowers in the field. Surrender to the magic of who you are. That is beautiful. Rebel. Light attributes. Challenges authority to affect social change. Rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attributes. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger. Rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. And we have the angel. Light attributes. Helping those in need with no expectation of return. Shadow attributes. Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others. Falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. We have shadow magic, number 9. Shadow magic. Wow. Okay, where do we put this? Maybe we'll put that right here. 9 could be representing the hermit in the tarot. Introspection, which is the shadow work. Looking at our shadows, all about that ego death we were talking about. We have 6/6 with integration, multidimensional healing. Healing, okay. And we have 17 or 8 constellation, Orion with the hunt. Giving me heavy Sagittarius energy here. And then we see 2 dogs. Loyalty. Okay, and then we have close encounters with the number 10. We have 2 butterflies here and a cage. Butterflies all about the freedom. Okay, and also about transformation. 10 is the beginning of a new cycle, so that could certainly be because we've transformed in some way. We have slimy with number 2, so we have 2, 2, 2. Might be seeing a lot of 2s with all these frogs here. Slimy. And we have 38 with inside looking out, or the number 11. And then we have chaos with this crazy looking card. And we also have, oh my goodness, what are the chances of having very similar cages here? Look at these cages. It says the runaway, secrets running from problems. The cage. And this door is open. And this door looks closed to me. Okay. Give me a minute to sit with your energy, okay? See what you have yet to learn here, or go through lesson-wise, karmically here in this connection, in this situation. Okay, so it's interesting because I don't know, like generally, right, when I'm reading energy, this could be exactly where your energy is kind of sitting right now. So it felt very positive to me here, you know, and maybe it's, I don't know, like maybe you're in a good sort of position here in gaining a good control, you know, and when we have a good control and feel like we're not sliding into chaos, we feel more confident, we feel more capable, and then the universe sometimes wants to throw a wrench, because when we're too comfortable and we think we have control, then the universe says, well, you need to learn some more. And that's what this reading is about here. So what do you need to learn some more about? I think you do get flipped into something here. In order to release a lot of parts of you still that I feel have still not yet been released when it comes to the ego self. But it's integrated into an idea you have, and I'm kind of getting 8 of Swords here. Because although we might release a lot of our ego, we still condition our brain to think a certain way. And what I feel like what you've conditioned here in some way is to limit and restrict what you're capable of doing. Because I feel like this connection is happening to you for a very specific reason, that there is something that you think is impossible for you to have or for you to be, or both. Okay, and so you're really restricted right now in the energy you're in until you go through whatever lesson you're having to go through, which will undo your conditioning and your 8 of Swords mentality, which is what you believe to be a limitation. It's actually not a limitation. And so as long as you believe to be limited, you are not going to be able to accomplish what you're supposed to be accomplishing here, because you believe it to be something that is not possible, or not possible for you. And so until you do the work to uncover what this is, all these beliefs that are limiting to you, and then you start to work with the true version of who you are, the free version of who you are, the authentic version of who you are, and then more and more of your belief in what you can accomplish comes from a position of no limits, because you know you're a limitless being that's free to accomplish whatever you need to. And the duality you might have of a kind of a it's not possible mindset is kind of released here in some way, okay? Because I mean, as humans, we see things in duality, and there's a reason why, because it helps provide contrast. But sometimes we start to believe that we're incapable of something because it might not be possible from a human's mind or a human's perspective. So there is something quite profound that I feel like you're thinking, or maybe it hasn't even come up yet, that you're going to have to overcome in some way, that at first you believe it might not be possible for you to accomplish, for you to work with, for you to do anything about. But I feel like your experience in this connection gives you all of the wisdom you need in order to be receptive to the universe, to gain whatever you need to drop whatever you need, to persevere through, trusting the universe, trusting your intuition, trusting letting go of things that I feel you're going to have to let go of in order to prove to the universe that you trust in where the universe is guiding you. Because I feel like what this is maybe something that is a little bit like with this rebel here. It might be something that is against the common, I don't know, like common popular opinion in some way. Or it's doing something very much, because I'm getting Aquarius energy, which is a very futuristic type mindset. It's coming up with things that are outside of the box. And so I feel like it's very outside of the box, which might be scoffed at or looked at as something that is impossible. But you being able to do this coming from a place that's able to accomplish this, because I feel like this also comes with a very soft, receptive energy here. Like I feel like you have a way of finding very good balance between the masculine, firm, driving, empowered self of accomplishing and being determined. And then I feel like there's also very good balance here of being receptive and soft and falling back on what you need to without having ego. And so it could be that people might judge what this thing is, okay? That I feel you're going to be wrapped up in or engaged in some way here, like something that is not, I don't know, maybe they're saying it's not spiritual, or it's not whatever they're saying it's not. But I feel like your experience is going to be one that begs to differ. Your experience here is going to be one that shows and proves to the world here something different. So I feel like it is something very different that you're able to accomplish. And once you're able to do this, it lays the foundation here for humanity to say this is something that is very possible. But I feel like the lesson is really coming out of that limitation, coming out of that belief, coming out of that mindset. Like there's going to be a lot of having to heal parts of ourselves, having to trust and keep at something here, and then allowing ourselves to reach out to our full potential. And then I feel like then you're living in joy and bliss here, because you're experiencing what you're made to. And I do sense here in this journey that there'll be times where you feel like giving up, okay? Where you feel like an outsider, is it worth it? Sometimes even maybe alone, or like it's a test of endurance having to continue on, especially when maybe it is against popular opinion, or you don't have a lot of buy-in here and you're not really knowing how to start or what you're supposed to really do, and just trust that the divine's working with you to figure out how to do this. And I feel like there's a period of time where you're in some sort of void energy, because you're not quite this connected, open book that's, you know, that we were seeing here that was unwritten in. Although I feel like you feel this is how you are right now. And so maybe this is why it's a little bit of a challenge, you know, because here it's like we could be anything and anyone, really, because it's a book that has no words written with the key here, and it's almost like indicative of what's coming in the future here, because I do feel like there is some limitation with that book of yours still, you know, that book of who you are, that you might feel you've shed. And this happens sometimes when we're shedding ego, is like we feel we've shed lots of parts of ourselves. And it's not even about shedding so much as it is integrating, okay? It's like recognizing parts of us that we can't really release because it's who we are, or we've accepted it. And then learning, how do we work with that? How do we still move forward? How do we become successful with parts of ourselves that might just be incapable of change? But I do feel like there's certain beliefs here that are keeping you very stuck. from this full potential. And this is why this connection is happening, because there's a full potential here of what you're supposed to be doing. And like I say, for all of you guys, is something different, because, you know, it's something here that's bucking convention. That's like, I just heard like you're kind of the trailblazers here of whatever this field is. Okay, and we see a key here, and I see a key here. And when we see keys, it's all about solutions to problems. And I feel like the solution you're finding is to a problem that maybe a lot of people have not yet been able to find, because your mind is open to this. I feel like you nail whatever this is, you know, like you actually uncover this solution, this answer, by being very dedicated. Perseverance, I see 2 dogs, which is all about loyalty. And throughout this process, there's a lot of transformation. And I am feeling for some of you guys, this connection, you have someone that's on the same path as you. So both of you guys are transforming here together. It's kind of like a dual journey here for both of you guys. You know, you guys might be, I don't know, like yin and yang, Bonnie and Clyde, whatever you guys are here. I feel like there is this accomplishing something with your partner. Okay, and that was coming through just recently. So it might not be for all of you guys, but I feel like for sure for you, this is the lessons that are coming about because of this connection, having to navigate this. And I do feel, like I said, that void, there's a period of time here where we feel awkward because we're not sure who we are, and we might not feel like we're fitting in, and we might feel like, you know, if society tells us whatever that thought is, or whatever this is not good, or it's bad, or we should think in a certain way, and then we start to believe it, or at least it's in our subconscious somehow keeping us back. We don't recognize why we're held back, you know, so we need to heal certain parts of ourselves, because I feel like it is very heavy, and it was holding you back to some sort of understanding that you had of yourself that is no longer true. And so there's a need to allow yourself to fly, allow the magic to come out of who you actually are here, and reinventing yourself, because I do feel you'll find a lot of joy with this. So I didn't pull tarot on the others, but I do feel with your partner here, or this connection, there is something coming through. Let me just pull 3 cards and see if we can get a little bit more. Spirit, can we get 3 cards here in regards to pile 2's person? Anything further we're needing to know regarding that message with partnering up with their person in this sort of journey, this vision, this conquering some sort of rebellion? Give me a second. That felt like that. One more card, spirits. Thank you so much. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 2. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. Thank you so much, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. All right. 4 came out. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy. And I do believe, is it your pile? Oh, I just dropped a card. Give me a second. This fell. It's the Death card, okay? The Death card. Scorpio energy. I was wanting to see. Is it your pile? No, it might be pile 1. Okay. Pile 1 might be connected in some way if you are pulled to it, because I am getting a strong pull to pile 1 from this lion. Again, only a few resonated. Okay, and then we have Scorpio here, and this is, you know, the timing's coming through again here. And a lily. Lily's all about sensuality, having the experience here. We have the 5 of Pentacles. I'm reading them in the upright. We have the Ace of Cups. And we have the World. So both you and your person, I feel, are really mirroring each other is what I'm seeing here, because this was asked about your person. So I'm getting a divine masculine energy. Does not necessarily have to be. I feel both of you guys might need to be able to take action. And you could certainly be the divine feminine energy here. Okay. balancing out a divine masculine energy here. This is, I mean, the King of Wands is making things happen. Somebody who takes action here. And I feel like whatever state that you guys start off in, it seems like an impossibility. Okay, because I was getting it from this. It's like you have to go through something because it's impossible to go around it. It's a feeling of feeling like you can't, or there's a lot of beliefs around not being able to because of what we see in the practical world in front of us. But overcoming this and having the confidence and ability to overcome this in order to have a new beginning and close out, you know, a belief that maybe, I'm feeling this is on a global scale here with the world. So maybe there's a belief or an understanding that humanity has in regards to some sort of, I don't know, some sort of understanding in the world that is not true, that might need to be reviewed, that is maybe something of conflict here that hasn't really been proven. But I feel here with the world, it's impacting, you know, on a global scale, a lot of individuals here. And so you're able to work with your person to make an impact here in the world. And I do feel like, you know, this is the lesson all about self, like being able to overcome one's own beliefs, being able to trust in one's own rebirth in a way so that we can give with love and be loved. Ace of Cups is all about being able to be receptive, you know, receptive to love. And that's what the world needs more of, you know, people who can give love and receive love. And I'm seeing it looks kind of like a pigeon. Pigeons know how to navigate back home. You know, you can put them anywhere and cover them up and put them anywhere, and then they'll know how to navigate back home. So I feel like there's a purpose you guys definitely have here to accomplish together. And it's like coming back home to something you're purposefully made to do, divinely orchestrated here, that's impacting world, that's going to give closure to something that might be just uneasy in the world right now, you know, that's not causing, or that's causing strife. But I feel like there is maybe some conflict around it, or some understanding that a lot of people have around it. So it might be debatable or confrontational in some way. So this is an ending, you know, for a new beginning. And this is also about an ending. It's transformation. We see the butterflies here. So I do feel like both of you guys are going to be complete different people here by the time you guys accomplish what you're needing to accomplish. I do feel and sense a very long sort of bond or connection here, like a tag team, a dream team of accomplishing something and being each other's sort of backbone to give each other the confidence to pull through, because there is a lot of chaos that you're having to navigate through here, okay? And yeah, just find your way out. So I do feel there's a long journey here still, okay? So this is what I have for you guys, pile 2. There will be an extended if you resonated with this, because we're getting into your person, what they've learned, their lessons, and then what do they have yet to learn, their karmic lessons still needing to be learned, okay? So if that resonates for you, then check out the extended. The information will be in the description box in the pinned comment. And if another pile, you know, resonates, could certainly be either your energy or your person's. You can crisscross it if that's how you see fit. Whatever works for you works for me. All right, I will see you soon. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pile 3. You picked the labradorite masquerade mask. Fluff on my finger. Carved mask, absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at your reading, shall we? So we have 2 piles. I've not looked at them. I asked Spirit here to take a look at what have you learnt in this connection and what are you about to learn. So this could be kind of your karma in the connection with this person that you came here about. Now, this does not have to mean that you are in a connection. It could just mean this phase of life. Like, what are you learning here? What is your karmic lesson? What have you learnt? And what are you about to learn? Or what kind of is the point of this connection or this lesson in this phase of what you're about to learn? Okay, so there's lots of cards that came out for pile 3. Now, keep in mind, you could be tapping into energy that's around you. So this could certainly be your person's energy, okay? Because that's how my readings sometimes go. And if that's the case and it resonates that way, then we will be looking at an extended. And the extended will be, the intention is to look at what has your person learned and what are they about to learn. So if this is your person, then it could be your own energy, vice versa. If the pile resonates, then it's most likely your message. So the extended reading will be available. You can click the link in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It'll take you directly to the extended, where we'll look at your person's experience, what they've learned, and then what they have yet to learn in regards to why you guys have kind of been brought together here. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look at what this is all about. Crisscross energies, like I said, and please use your intuition to what makes sense. Do not take messages that are forced to fit or that leave you confused. Okay, if you're confused, it's most likely not your message or not your pile. Okay, so we have 25 with remorseful heart, forgive and move ahead, or the number 7. Okay, we have success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Okay, I got heavy message here from Spirit that said pride. And because I was feeling peacock, and peacock's all about pride, could be something about ego coming through here, okay? Feeling heavy 6 of Wands energy, which is also ego. So we have sensuality, 36, or number 9. The frequency of sensuality reminds us that as spirits in human bodies, we are sensual beings, experiencing joy and pleasure from the physical world through our senses. Number 9, I don't know if I said that. Okay. We have peace, or the number 23, number 5, the dove and the egg. Okay. We have 68 with the mirror. The mirror. 14, or the number 5 coming through again. We have Mars, number 5. Interesting. It's 555 you might be seeing. Mars is the ruling planet for Aries and Scorpio. Mars. Okay. We also have self-worth. And this is a chakra card with the orange. The orange ray is all about our sacral. Okay, that is also sensuality with the sacral, self-worth. Okay. We have the crab. So heavy Cancer coming through here with the crab. And we have surrender the idea. You can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. And we have priest, light attributes, facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. Shadow attributes, violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. Heavy peace coming from this. And then a scribe. Light attribute, preserving knowledge and information. Shadow attributes, altering facts or plagiarizing others' work. I must have a lot of writers that come through my readings here because I'm feeling a heavy writer. So I don't know if you're a writer, maybe you write books or lyrics or journals, or you guys just like to write, but I'm getting heavy writing coming through this pile as well with them. I believe it was pile 1, if I'm not mistaken. So we have healing fairy with 36, or the number 8. Healing fairy. I just got, and I don't rarely ever get this anymore. I got a smell, and I got a smell. It was it took me back to like elementary. Yeah, like, you know, when you're in school and you kind of can smell school in some way. So I was like smelling school. And elementary, so certainly could be childhood, learnings in some way here. This is interesting. Okay, let's see how that plays in. So 1111 with compassion, higher heart opening. Yeah, I don't normally get it through smell, but it like really shot me in the nose here, like took me straight back to school. Okay, 1111 compassion, higher heart opening. We have constellation 24 or the number 6 with Aquila power. And that looks like a hawk connected to pile 1 in some way, because I think we had eagle there, very similar card here. This one says power. Hawks are all about gaining a higher perspective, a bigger picture here. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this. Power. Yeah, look at this, you guys. Power, and he's hanging on to this thunderbolt. Same with this, so very heavy Mars energy. Like I said, Mars is Aries, Scorpio, and Aries is all about getting empowered. Okay. We have willing release with number 49 or the number 13. 13 is the death card in the tarot, which is Scorpio energy. And then we have the dandelions where you make a wish, willing release, and a butterfly. Butterflies are all about transformation and freedom. Okay. And then we have afraid of the attic with 58. Aura card 13 coming out again. So we have 2 13s here. Okay, afraid of the attic. And then we have compassion. Didn't we have compassion? Look at that. Your reading is so synchronistic. Compassion. And then we have the compass here. And then we have the alchemist. Balance, invention, and destruction. And look, we have the feather plume and some ink, which was coming through here. And that keeps coming through in my readings now for some reason. So old school writing here. Feather plume, some ink. We have the acorns and the oak leaves. Some crystals, some shells. Okay, the alchemist. Balance, invention, destruction. Alchemist is giving me temperance energy, which is Sagittarius. Okay. Balance, healing. Okay, so just give me a bit to tap into this, and then we will get into it. Yes, healing and healing. Okay. Remorseful heart, forgive and move ahead. More healing. Lots of healing, healing, healing. Okay. Beautiful people. This is looking at what you are kind of experienced already and the lessons you've learned here. And what I feel here has been very, very crazy of a lesson here for you, I feel, because I feel like you are really having a difficult time in trusting that you are okay. And I know this might, sound a little bit, I don't know, if you resonate, you resonate. If you don't, then maybe another pile, but you are okay. Like, I feel like this surrender, the idea that you can fix someone, I feel is a lot about self. Like, I feel like you felt broken, or like you felt there was something wrong with who you are or how you are as a person, because of what you've experienced in the past. So I feel like you've had some like skeletons, that were buried away of experiences that you've had. And you might have not have thought twice about it. You might have packed it away, chopped it up as an experience, and then never thought of it twice. But I feel like what's happened in this connection is that by being in this connection, things got triggered. Okay, and this, I get this very heavy feeling, almost like twin flame energy, because usually there's catalyst with the twin that makes us really take a look at our traumas. And this is kind of what I'm feeling here, okay? But again, people are mirrors to us, so they don't have to be your twin. They could just be somebody who mirrors back to us something. But generally, when it comes to twins, I feel like it's something that really triggers something within us that we need to look at. So I feel like there's massive healing being done in regards to your heart here, okay? Higher heart opening, and I feel like the hawk has a higher sort of perspective, like I said, to see a big picture about who you are and to you get empowered and claim a part of yourself that I feel was tucked away. Because I feel like you might have not even recognized that you were not fighting for a certain aspect of your life. And it could be when it comes to connection. You might have just experienced a bad connection, maybe a divorce, or maybe just a bad experience, or maybe just witnessed your parents or your guardians or other people not coming together and concluded that connection wasn't for you, or that there was nothing here for you in connection. And so by experiencing this person, I feel like you were being forced with a heavy look at yourself and where did this stem from, and having to overcome that you can be loved, that you don't have a bunch of broken pieces within you that, I don't know, like need something here that you don't have, because everything that you need is within you, that you are whole and you are complete, but finding that piece within you. So I feel like there were parts of you that I feel were either really tucked away and you felt you did not have it. Like I really feel like you did not have it. And so you're needing to, one, even understand you had it, and then to claim it and to connect with it and relate with it. So I feel like this might have been a very clogged heart chakra here, because I feel like needing to really connect, but it's not necessarily in the heart so much, although it does open the heart. I feel like it was around sensuality, maybe around, being intimate with people. Could be having sex, could be just a partnership in an intimate way here. Being empowered to be yourself, to know that there's a part of yourself that can come out here, okay? Because I feel it was very much heavily protected by a trauma, by an experience that has left you feeling, I feel like nothing, because I don't even feel like you recognize that there was a need for healing. And so I feel like there was a big wake up here, or a look at this part of yourself that you recognized that you didn't even know was troubled or missing, or that you needed to review, that an experience or a belief or an understanding you had about intimacy or connection or going deep, and what that actually means to you and how it impacts you. Because I think it makes you feel a certain way that I don't think you were expecting. And so I feel like there is a hope and now an actual desire to see a future for you in a way that you weren't seeing or imagining possible for you, and whether it's with this connection or not, it's because of this connection that you see a possibility of you being reborn here and finding peace within yourself here. And so for some of you guys, you certainly could be channeling the divine here with this priest. Facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. I feel like you're channeling the divine here, however you're doing it, and it could just completely tap you into a part of yourself that went dormant or went unseen. And this compassion is having compassion with self, finding the direction within self to uncover what you need to uncover here. And I feel like it's recognizing what has happened to you as a legitimate thing, or at least your understanding of something, and acknowledging that piece of information or that understanding. Because I feel like it was probably either really buried in the subconscious here, and it was really driving a lot of your action. And I feel like it might have developed your whole life here around an understanding of avoiding something or not looking at something. And so now I feel like you've been forced to look at something and to have compassion with yourself and allow yourself to yeah, like there's a fine balance here between having to acknowledge this pain without being hurtful, and then having the courage to be empowered to do something here and to still be able to heal parts of yourself that might have not have been touched until you saw this. Because I feel like there was a big protective shell around you, and you might have just kept people out, and you might have kept this person out in this connection. But I feel like what you're learning here, or what you have learned, is about this, that this exists, number one. So I don't necessarily know that you've fully overcome this yet. I feel you are overcoming this. The lesson has been that you've revealed a certain part of yourself, and that you're trying to find balance and peace within yourself, and navigating through an understanding that you now see something about yourself that might have been handicapping you in some way, but that there is no greater goal than to love. That the one thing that maybe you told yourself was not necessary, or I don't know, wasn't needed or not a priority here, now becomes almost central focus, which is a whole 180 flip. You know, and I do feel like there was a time maybe where you might have been a little bit destructive because of this belief, or because of what this was causing in your subconscious for you to act in a certain way. And maybe you felt like, yeah, like, I don't know, even with this, like I said, it was more about self, but maybe you felt like other people couldn't quite understand you, or like other people needed to do something here in order to align to you, rather than knowing the power is in your hands to align to what you want. Because once you're in the energy of what you want, it aligns. But if you've been in an energy of pushing away or blocked, it doesn't matter who comes around you, it's never going to happen here. So I feel like you're understanding this, or coming to releasing a certain part of yourself that was blocking you from working with other people, blocking you from understanding a greater truth here, because I feel like there was no peace. There was an uneasiness. And so now that we're finding this and seeing this, there's like a part of ourselves we're tapping into here that is yet to be birthed. I feel it still has not been birthed. I feel as though you still have not experienced true intimacy or this connection in a way that you want. So you might have just recognized this, but you still have not yet experienced it. And you're learning how to find balance between what you understood and what kind of broke you, or what made you feel like you had to protect yourself or hide this sort of thing. And now you're wanting to release so that you're able to recognize and accept and embrace, I feel, this opportunity, because I do feel like you feel this is an opportunity, but that you're incapable right now until something's resolved here within self. But I feel like this is a peaceful sort of hallelujah moment for you, because I feel up until then we could have felt like something was really wrong, you know. And like I said, I don't feel as though you thought something was wrong, because it was so shoved down the subconscious, but it didn't feel right either, because I felt like we were robbing ourselves of peace, of love, sensuality, intimacy, bonding, connecting, feeling empowered, confident, having compassion with ourselves, being in tune, I feel here, like I said, with spirit, and this channeling this energy that I feel you're able to channel now. And wherever you were kind of blocked, I feel like there was a flood of light that came in from the divine here, specifically when it comes to intimacy and sharing with another here, with the sensuality and this sacral chakra and this, you know, priest, and channeling spiritual energy. I feel like this is coming down kind of like a download here into how to empower you in an area where you weren't empowered, so you could feel confident and understand you're worthy of love and you're worthy of healing parts of yourself. You don't have to be closed off. Okay, so yeah. And it might have caused a lot of destruction in your world, you know. It might have caused relationships that didn't quite work out. And maybe it was repeats. Maybe you didn't know why relationships weren't working out so well. So let's take a look. What do you have yet to learn then in this experience? What's there yet to learn? There's so many cards here. I really hope these all fit. Let's see. Like I said, if this comes through now, it's your person instead of you. You know, then it could be we have two crossed energies here. So just make sense of it as you will. But I do intend on this being the same person I just read. And now what you still have yet to learn. Okay. We have 16 with passionate heart. Use your voice to wake up others. Oh my goodness, isn't that powerful? And we have happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. That is beautiful. Lots of green. That is heart ray. Green ray chakra, which is heart chakra. We have 30 with multidimensional. The frequency of multidimensionality activates our awareness of our true essence, which is eternal and multidimensional. Beautiful. We have here and now, 32, or the number 5, and it says past, present. We see another egg here, and that says you are here. Egg is all about rebirth, being born again. We have the ring, 57, or the number 12, or the number 3. And then we have the underworld. Oh my goodness. So this is 45 or 48. Card 48. Or the number 12 coming out again. So we have 1212. You might be seeing a lot of 1212. 1212. 12th house. All about endings, closure. I'm getting heavy Scorpio energy. It's also about the subconscious, which we were talking about. Like deep in the subconscious I was feeling. Limiting beliefs. So when we have limiting beliefs, it holds us back. Just 1 second. Sorry, there was lots of noise outside the room. I want to close the door. So limiting beliefs, which would hold us back, which kind of falls in what I was reading here, but 12 can also be the 3rd house here because it could be the number 3, okay? And 3rd house is all about the mind, how we're thinking, how we communicate. Yeah, our interests. Okay, let's keep going. Like what we want to commit to with the ring here. I don't know if I want to... Spirit, should I... Okay. I'll just leave that there. We have Virgin's Milk with, what is this? 40. Card 40, or the number 4. Virgin's Milk. Wow, I get this connection is very significant to you. I really get it's something you really cherish here, okay? Rejection. And we have a bunch of paintbrushes here. Rejection, okay. We have perfection. Raspberries. Makes sense. We have tapir or tapir. Okay. I don't know. I don't have room for everything if I put it like that. So tapir. And we have the boar. Oh my goodness. I might read tapir because I'm being called to read that. Let's see. We have surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you're energized and happy, move forward. That makes sense. Okie dokie. We have surrender your attachment to results. The formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. And we have the martyr, light attributes, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Shadow attribute, addiction to self-pity. And we have the athlete. Light attributes, dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Shadow attribute, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends. False sense of invulnerability and entitlement. And we have rumination, 32, or the number 5. You can see that. And we have 7-7 with the mystical messages. Follow the signs. Oh my goodness. we have, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do this. Smarter athlete, I'll put that there. And we have 11 with constellation Aquarius, awe and ecstasy. Okay. We have 41 or 5 with a higher view, beautiful owl in flight, a higher view. Wow. We have the dependency, 61, or the number 7. Okay, we have freedom. And look at that. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. You have this lady, she's riding this owl, and then you have this lady, and she's riding this bird. Bird in flight, being rode by some lady here, okay? And then we have, I'm going to sneeze, no? Okay, we have home. Okay, and then final card here, we have the Masquerade, hiding your true self and projection. What's interesting is you guys picked the mask, and that's what this is. The Masquerade is painting this mask, hiding your true self and projection. Okay, so I'm going to read the tapir, if I'm saying it right. Tapir. Before I get into your thingy. Let's see, it's not alphabetical, so I'm going to have to take a look right there. Okay, so that's kind of near the end-ish. Right there. Okay. What does it say? It says the meaning. Acting in service to others. Charity and selflessness. In dreams, a tapir is often linked to gentleness and a need to be kind and compassionate towards other people. This is despite its close genetic ties to the rhino, a rather tough animal. The natural disposition of this unique creature is rather shy, although they do live in small social units, especially during their mating years. The appearance of the tapir card asks us to consider acts of service as a love language and the practical steps we can take to show up for others. Depending on your personality, you may or may not already embody acts of service as a love language. These tangible displays of love don't always match the conventional idea of romance, but in some ways they may mean more. Part of being a human being is operating within a community and showing up for others in their time of need. Very important. Their time of need, not our time of need. Okay, our social selves thrive only when we have a solid support system in place, no matter how introverted or private we may be. If you've pulled the tapir card, it's your turn to show up for those who care about and act in service to your love for them. Maybe someone needs a favor, or the person you live with could use your help accommodating a task. When we are physically present for those we care about, the impact of our actions stay with them much longer than anything else does. Offer your helping hands. Wow. Okay, I might have only read that once. So, what do I see? Give me a little bit to sit here with this energy. Okay. Passionate heart, use your voice to wake up others. Okay. I'm feeling like this duality here within your energy in some way. So maybe this whole thing has been a big lesson in understanding that we could be multiple things, multidimensional beings, that we're not just one sort of way. So if we have experienced one way of being, we start to think that that's who we are. And then we paint stories around it. And for you, you know, you've experienced this thing here that's maybe caused you to sort of tuck away in some way. So you might understand yourself to be a certain person. And so our brain sort of adapts to understanding one idea of who we think we are. And I feel like there's a need for you to find balance in different aspects of yourself, because the boar is the complete opposite of this tap here. Okay, because this is someone who's overpowering and it may be just very self-focused and very heavy, stubborn, and not looking out for others. You know, and then we have dependency here, which is us not being independent, dependent on other people, rather than taking, I don't know, like taking charge ourselves. And then we have rejection and perfection. It's almost like something needs to be absolutely perfect, or else we fear rejection, because we're so focused on maybe some result here in our mind. Okay, kind of like this athlete. It's like, what it's showing me is if you feel you can't be perfect or have an outcome of what you're expecting as a perfection in some way, then it holds you back in some way of attempting this thing. But with the athlete, it's like many, many hours of practice makes them accomplish something. You know, and with the martyr here, it's like if we understand ourselves to be a certain way, then we say, well, we kind of hang our hat on one understanding of what we're supposed to do or be at the expense of the greater version of who we can transform to be. So I feel like the lesson with this person here is one of learning to be here now, to surrender your idea of what a future success would look like, whether it be in this connection or just, I feel it is in this connection, or what you're thinking success would look like, how you have to be in order to succeed in this connection, or how happiness has to look. And so I feel like it limits you from experiencing being in the here and now, committing yourself and dedicating yourself to showing up to what you need to do here to be in the time when it matters, to be of service for this person specifically, because I'm reading about this connection. And we sometimes get lost in the underworld of feeling victim, and we know what we've experienced here to be true, and so we could get lost and stuck in this and play the victim role in this, and this keeps us stuck in some sort of underworld, okay, where it doesn't allow us to be available and present to say, I can commit to providing some service that I can here, and trusting that if something isn't feeling right or going right, I trust in myself enough to not engage, because we now know how to read the signs. We're not too traumatized or too much conditioned from an experience of the past that doesn't allow us to trust our body and our signs, and we're not depending on certain things we fall back on. So I feel like for some of you guys, you might be using distractions. This could certainly be addictions, things that hold us back from allowing ourselves to be in the here and now and committing to something here. And so I feel like there is a big lesson in this. And also with the follow the signs, it's like trusting in spirits, because I feel like in this first part, there was a channeling spirit, you know, channeling the divine, channeling what this is. And then you see it and you can channel it, but are you following the signs? Are you actually taking the steps? Or are we held back because there is a fear of rejection in some way? So I feel like this experience in this connection is something that is very unique, that is giving you an experience, I think, that is, you're feeling almost like once in a lifetime here. I really feel it's a very unique experience, once in a lifetime. And instead of enjoying this and being present, there's a lot of sticking to the past and what didn't work outside of this connection. Although I feel like this connection is one that's bringing ecstasy, and that's bringing this unique rarity. The lesson here is to have a higher view here of learning how to integrate our past experiences of disappointment or past experiences of what we've learned to rise above the pain, rise above what we were stuck in, some underworld or some limited experience where we were martyring ourselves to say, I'm going to be the type of person that's meant to suffer here, or that's just in my storyline, or my experience has brought nothing but pain, and so therefore I must fulfill some sort of role here. But now we see a greater purpose, you know, and it allows us to be free, and it allows us to not be in control, as fixed as we were on something, because I feel like it's learning when to trust someone else, when to allow ourselves to be guided, you know, guided by spirit, guided by an experience, guided by our wisdom, guided by what we've just know based on what we've experienced here, instead of questioning or doubting. So it provides a level of freedom, but I feel like this takes you home, because coming home is a feeling of safety, a feeling secure, a feeling like you know who you are authentically. And I feel like home might feel very closed in to you for some reason, like you feel like you would be boxed in some way, or like you couldn't, you know, fly free or be liberated in some way, that if you were to come home to this, that you would feel restrained. But I feel like what Spirit is saying, this is the lesson here, is allowing you to trust in Spirit and this connection here, to, despite what you've experienced in the past here, or what your beliefs were of connection or not being able to enjoy some sort of ecstasy here. And so I feel it gives you a new look on relationship altogether here with Aquarius. There's a new way of seeing things that's outside of your norm. And so you no longer have to be the person that was guarded and protected, even though you might have thought that this was you in some way, and it was, but it was the you created to protect yourself. It was the you created here to hide a true version of yourself. And as long as you hid yourself, there was an inability for you to find the true happiness here, for you to experience true ecstasy, you know, because we become very scared of being open and vulnerable, and we sacrifice true happiness by thinking of the past and what has happened and not wanting to repeat it. So we start to project onto people and situations things that we've experienced in the past. So I think there was a lot of projection in this connection, like projecting past pains or projecting what it could be, and what it could be is pain. And that's what I feel with this this surrender your attachment to results. I feel like the understanding you had was it's all going to go to hell, or it's all going to end anyway, or it's all going to be something that isn't going to provide some level of freedom or happiness here. It's not going to be something that I want to experience here, and I won't partake unless I'm like perfectly able to show up in an energy here that knows it's going to be okay and perfectly fine without getting hurt and experiencing any pain. It's like an unrealistic expectation, because I mean, with connections, there's always a risk we could get hurt. And so I feel like there was a lot of distraction and dependency on things here that pulled you away from being able to just show up and provide a level of service here in this connection. So I feel like you're still needing to learn this, okay? Because I feel like you have a lot of desire here in this connection. We have, passionate heart. 16, number 7. Use your voice to wake up others. I'm still feeling part of you was asleep. Part of you was needing to be woken up. Part of you was not trusting. Part of you was at odds with yourself. And so I feel that dichotomy almost of somebody who was in one energy so firmly, you know, that another part of yourself was snuffed out, unable to have a voice, because these are, again, two polar opposite things. It's like, if it can't be completely perfect and come out perfect, it's like, then we just don't even try. We fear rejection. But again, like with the athletes, like, we're not always going to get it right unless we put in the time and the effort. We have to put in the service here in order to create the relationship and the trust. The trust isn't just going to appear. Trust needs to be built on. But we'd have to put skin in the game. We'd have to be trustworthy in order to earn trust. But I feel like there was a defensive side here of looking for what could go wrong, or all the reasons why it wouldn't work in some way. And instead of allowing ourselves to be the version of what we were expecting to get back. So I am tempted to pull some tarot here. I'm going to pull just a little bit more because I do feel I'm missing something here. Because I feel like you committed yourself to unhappiness, or committed to some sacrifice here when you didn't have to, okay? But I feel like you could commit to this situation by being very present. You could make a commitment here, okay? Because I do see there's a lot of happiness that you have here. This is a sort of I really feel I'm getting strong once in a lifetime opportunity, experience for you to become a version of yourself here that liberates you completely and makes you feel, you know, like you're in ecstasy here. And so that could be very terrifying here, especially if we've experienced pain in the past, and allowing ourselves to be open to this. So Spirit, clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of pile number 3. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message. What have I missed? What are they needing to know in regards to this part of this lesson they're still needing to learn? Anything further they're still needing to learn, spirits? I'm going to pull 2 more. Clear and concise message. I do feel that one. Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm truly blessed. Wheel of Fortune. Look at that. Destined experience. Divine timing. And like I was saying, it's almost like you just feel so blessed and lucky to have this experience in your life. So I feel like you don't want to blow it. So you almost reject yourself before this experience could fail in some way. I also feel like you don't have control. And so it makes you more fearful, because it's like, if it's out of your control, it's like things could go bad. But that's, again, like trying to see an outcome here. Like, yes, they could go bad and they could go absolutely perfect. But I feel like, yeah, definitely this is all about karma, okay? Like this reading I'm doing, and it's like what you're fated to experience here is this connection, okay? What you're going through here and trying to sort through internally here is, how do you show up for yourself so that you can show up in a connection here and allow yourself to do this, okay, without shooting yourself down before you've even kind of got started. 9 of Wands. This is the defensive card, but it's also the wounded warrior, because we were wounded and hurt. We experienced pain here. Remorseful hearts. Forgive and move ahead. This is stuck energy, okay? This is moving energy. So it's like, how can we move forward from all the pain we've experienced and find the confidence in self to still chase up something we desire? Because I feel like you do desire this, but you might feel very guarded and stuck in how to move forward with the confidence, okay? And I'm going to read them all in the upright. So we have Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's the Lion again. So this is the confident queen. This is being able to attain what we want. So I feel like there's a lot of wands here. This is passion. This is desire. This is confidence. You might put this person or this connection on a pedestal in some way, because there is a lot riding on how you're feeling towards this person, because I feel like you feel this, I don't know, maybe you feel like this person might be too good to be true or to experience in some way. And yeah, 5 of Cups, it's like we're saddened by an experience we've had in the past, and we're looking back on how things did not work, rather than being focused on how we can make things work in the here and now. So a lot time dwelling in past pains. And we have the Queen of Cups. Oh my goodness. So we have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Compassionate Queen. Creative, intuitive. So we have both the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. I do feel as though you're really feeling like this person might encompass, energy here that is very beautiful, loving, giving. I just heard sexy, and it's just an overwhelming feeling here. I feel like there's a deep, passionate soul connection. And so having to navigate this could be very intense. And so I feel like you might feel like you freeze. So having to know how to proceed here, how to tap into your heart space here. And then we have Judgment. Yes, Judgment is all about the awakening, the rebirth. We have the Butterfly, which is all about transformation. We have a hare, and the hares could be quite sketchy. They could literally get very scared and spooked very easily here, especially if they have a hint of what they've experienced in the past, or what you've experienced in the past, and then you could just get spooked. So I feel like there's a need for you to come into some sort of awareness here, okay, of the here and now, and be very present with what you have in front of you, because I feel like what you have in front of you is, two of the more positive sort of energies you could possibly have with someone here, which is, sensuality, beauty, attraction, and love, compassion, and desire, and feelings. And I just feel it's something you want to pursue. It's something you want to engage with, but we're spending too much time just reviewing past. And the Judgment is about reviewing past, but it's also then concluding and putting the past behind us and saying, how do I want to move forward? How do I want to proceed? Do I want to stay in pain? Do I want to shut a chapter in my life that wasn't allowing me to move forward and experience ecstasy? Or do I want to stay suffering? Or do I want to stay in a mindset here that had me very defensive and not experiencing a certain part of my life here? Because I feel, sensuality, like there's something very sensual coming through here with that you can experience. And maybe it's for the very first time. And so this could be something that is very, very scary. But I feel like this is kind of what you're meant to experience and overcome. And everyone is meant to experience bliss, happiness, ecstasy. And I feel like this is what you are being pulled towards here. But I feel like you're still needing to allow yourself to flow with the energy and allow things to move forward. And if we're stuck in the past, and we know we're stuck in the past, then we have to decide that we're done with the past. We have to come to that conscious decision to put the past behind us in order for things to move forward. And I think that's where you're at. No need to wear masks and pretend to be who we're not, or even just project what we've experienced into another connection here, and then it limits us, and it has us spooked in some way, So allow your experience to be something that guides you in the positive, that you now get a higher perspective of what could be possible here in the positive, because I do feel like you are being brought home, but it doesn't need to be suffocating. It doesn't need to be restricting. It could certainly be something that is liberating you and provides you stability. I almost feel like any sort of stability might make you feel stuck in some way or restricted in some way. Okay, so this is what I have. Now I'm going to jump into the extended. And the extended will be looking at the other person and what have they learned, and what are their lessons or their karma still yet to be learned if this was your person, then your energy could certainly be in the back half of this extended reading. All right, so keep in mind any other pile could certainly be your person or your energy, depending on how this falls. So take a look at those readings maybe before you jump to the extended, or you could do whatever you like there. But I will see you guys at the extended. That information will be available in the description box and in the pinned comment below, and I will see you soon. Bye.